10th of August, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos. Eicha.
Baruch Hashem. Baruch Hashem.
Very good. So good to see you both. Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here with someone else here in your Shom Kiruv Zoom. We are learning Ben Izmanim. We're continuing on with our Limud of Eicha. We're in the about to begin the fourth parak, if I'm not mistaken. And we can continue with that, Mitzvah Hashem. Yeah, Roy or Lou, would anyone like to do a bit reading?
All right. Eicha Yuam Zahav Yishne Hakosev Hakosim Hatov Tishtapach Avanei Kodesh Barash Kol Kutsos. How is the gold become dim, says the translation. How is the most fine gold changed? The hallowed stones are poured out at the top of every street.
Oh. Okay, so I mean, yeah, if you've ever noticed, if you ever go to the Kaisel and look down there on the various excavations there in the coastal, you can get a picture, maybe, what the desolation was over there. All the sacred stones. Obviously, that's a reference to the Beit Hamikdash, the sacred stones.
Mm. Continue.
Yeah, please.
B'nai Tzion Hayakarim Hamasulot B'poz Acha Eicha Nachshavu V'givlei Choresh. No, Horis. Maaseh Yedei Yotze. The second Pasuk says the precious stones of Zion, comparable to fine gold. How are they esteemed as earthen pitchers? Oak of the hands of the potter.
It says the stones of Zion, or the sons or the children of Zion.
The precious stones of Zion,
No.
comparable to fine gold. That's what it says.
It says B'nai, not Avnei. It says B'nai, no? Well, how does it?
Yeah, I have precious children.
Oh yeah, B'nai Tzion.
Yeah, B'nai, they were children.
Oh, sorry, precious sons. I didn't do it properly.
No, just checking.
Yeah, right, you're right. The precious sons of Zion, comparable to fine gold.
So I'm just wondering if there's any specific reference, any specific people or groups. What's the B'nai Tzion? Let me take a look and see if we can find out.
All right.
Let's see. Just want to. Yeah, I see Mayor's coming up.
Morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Okay, we're just getting started with the fourth parak in Eicha.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you can go in the
Gum, Sagir, Holatsu, Shad, Hanaku, Gurahev, Base Ami, La Hozel, Ki, Anim, the mid bo. Even the jackals draw out the breast, they give suck to their young ones. The daughter of my people has become cruel, like the ostriches in the wilderness.
Anyone know about ostriches? Are they really considered to be good? Oh,
They're famous for racing, and they're famous for sticking their head in the sand.
okay. I guess Yirmia knew more about them than we do. So if he's relating us to the ostriches, and in terms of their cruelty, that
they're very strong, and they've got lethal kick in their feet with the back toe, I think, sticking out or something.
I see. All right, let me just.
All right.
Yeah, let's continue.
Devak Lashon your neck al hachi b'tzimo alalim shalu lachem todeh ein lahem. The tongue of the suckling child cleaves to the roof of his mouth for thirst. Young children ask for bread, and no man gives it to them.
Let me see Rashi for a moment. Okay. All right. Let's continue on.
5. Hey. Ha'avlim, the ma'adinim, Goshamu b'chuos, Ha'aminim, Olei, Salo, Hibaku, Ashabatot. They that did feed them on dainties are desolate. Desolate in the streets. They that were brought up in scarlet embrace dunghills.
Now, what's that supposed to mean exactly?
Their fine life is gone. Their fine way of living is no more.
Right. That they lost all the everything they enjoyed. They have no more.
Right.
And see, it's even worse. It's not simply that they don't enjoy the fine things in life anymore, but they're terribly terribly disgraced, thoroughly disgraced.
Mm.
So it's two things. It's one that they lost what they had, which was a very fine way of living, and then they sunk to the depths. All right. Okay.
V'yigdal Avon Bas Ami Mahab Tas Sodom Hafurcho Kamo Roge V'lo Chalu Bo Yodim. For the doom of the daughter of my people is greater than the sin of Sodom that was overthrown in a moment, no hand being laid upon her.
Now that means that no hand was laid upon her. Is that referring to Sodom or to the daughter of my people? To the daughter of my people? Who's that referring to? Laid upon her.
Sodom, I think.
That Rashi says, Lo ta'ave yadam, didei oyev, meaning there were no enemies. Malachim nafku. Right. Sodom was overturned by the command of Hashem through the whatever part that the Malachim played, but it was also the economy min Shemayim. Now it's worse for us here in Yerushalayim because it's being done through an enemy. So it's apparently much worse to be struck down by an enemy rather than be struck down by a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Okay.
All right, 7, Zion. Zachur Nazirea Mesheleg Ahu Anatzochu Mechalov Aramu Atsom Mipa Ninim Sefor Sefer Gizrasom. The Nazarites were purer than snow, and they were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was as of sapphire. Now their visage is blacker than coal. They are not known in this. Oh no, I've gone too far.
Mm-hmm. So Rashi says, even though the pasuk uses this expression of Nazir, right? Pasuk uses openly the phrase Nazir. Nevertheless, Rashi says, Nezer b'keser, v'ani omen Nazir mamish. There are two pshatim. One is that it's referring to those who are nobles. They were people who were nobles and princes. And Rashi says it's referring to actual Nazirim. Two pshatim, Gedoli Sar.
Ches.
Yeah.
Where's Ches? Oh. Choshech Mishacho Ta'aram Lo Nikaru B'chutzos Safad Aram Al Atzamam Yovesh Haya Ka'at. So now their visage is blacker than coal. They are not known in the streets. The skin is shriveled upon their bones. It is withered it is become like a stick.
Right. Yeah, that's the effect of the famine, right? We'll see. We'll see in the next pasuk that this is all affected because of the famine that was going on, the terrible famine, that they were cut off. They couldn't bring any food or anything into the city, and they were cut off, surrounded by the enemy. So they were starving from starvation. As we'll see. Take a look at the next pasuk.
Yes. Tovim hayu halalei charev mechalalei ra'av shahem yazavu midakorim mitnuvos sador. Those slain with the sword are better than those slain with hunger, for when pierced through, the former do ooze with the produce of the fields.
Right. So he's comparing those who died by the enemy, the sword of the enemy. They were more fortunate than those killed by the famine.
Yudei Nashim Rachamonios Bishalu Yodehem Hen Hayu Liveros Lama Beshever Base Ami. The hands of the compassionate women have boiled their own children. They were their food in the destruction of the daughter of my people.
1 second. That's pasuk.
Yud.
Where?
So Rashi explains that one of the things why was it that the ones that were killed by the sword were more fortunate than the ones that died by hunger. Rashi says they would swell, their bodies would swell. Why would their bodies swell? From the smell of the fruits of the fields. That why? What is this mention of the fruits of the fields? What does it have to do with their famine? So Rashi explains that the enemies, right? They would be roasting meat out on the grasses of the fields that were outside the walls of Yerushalayim. So they would be roasting meat outside the walls on the grasses that they would have there, and the re'ek niklas l'toch the fuchi harav, and the smell of the roasting meat would enter into the swollen bodies of those who were starving from starvation, and their stomachs would burst on them. So this type of death, Rashi says, was worse than those who were killed by the sword.
When it says the women were boiling their children, is that understood literally?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what actually happened there. That that was part of the that's actually in the Tochacha, if I'm not mistaken. It was a fulfillment of the prophecy in the Tochacha. If I have a chance, I can try and find it.
No, I recognize it from being there.
Mm.
I just wonder about, I mean, it's so hard to believe.
It is hard to believe. Nevertheless, I think they waited for the children to die. I don't think they killed them. That I don't think they did. Doesn't say they killed their children, just say they boiled them, right? To eat.
Uh-huh. Well, that makes it easier.
Yeah. No, I don't think they actually killed the own children. I don't think. I haven't heard anything about that. Um, 1 second. Oh no. Oh no.
What?
Says here, actually, no, we're wrong. Says here, and this is a sefer, I'm quoting from a sefer here, from a sefer, Surah Hamor, it's a parish on Chumash. Parish on Chumash. It was written by Abraham Saba, born in Castile, Spain in 1440. Right, 1440. He in 1492 he fled to Portugal, and then after the expulsion from Portugal in 1497, he moved to Morocco. Then when he was there, 2 of his sons were kidnapped by the Christians.
Christians or Muslims?
The Christians. 2 of his sons were kidnapped by them. After he went to Morocco, he went to Turkey, and then he died in 1508 on his way to Italy. He's going to Italy. His granddaughter was married to Rav Yosef Cairo, the Mechaber of the Shulchan Aruch.
Wow.
Yeah. So he writes here. He says here, Kasab B'Sefer Yosef Ben Gurion. I think that's Josephus, if I'm not mistaken. That says here, Kibizman Beis Sheni, right? At the time of the base by Sheni. See, okay, so we should remember. We have to remember when we're learning Eicha, right? These are all statements that happened at the time of the Churban Bayis Rishon, right? The Churban Bayis Rishon, right? So now he's quoting the Sefer Ben Gurion. Josephus, he lived at the time of the Churban Bayis Sheni. So he said at the time, Bisman Shabai Sheni Shishum Paritzim Yushalayim Shal Roshel Niten Biyad Titus. So they had the sects in Yerushalayim that they were against surrendering to Titus, right? They were against surrendering to Titus. It could have been they could have avoided a lot of the destruction and a lot of the killing, and had they surrendered to Titus, the Romans, had they surrendered to the Romans, they might have preserved something, but they didn't do that. Ad Isha Achash Shachta Banoi, right? Kamosha Parshas Imbuchosai, that she actually shechted her own son. So we were wrong, Lou. Actually, there was a woman there that in the second bias, she actually shechted her own son. And that's part of the Tochacha in Pukuchosai. The Fishinira Hashem Shebeksham Shebekol Elo Makas Amoksim Lo Shava Ad Hashem. Okay. Second.
Or someone else can carry on there if you don't mind.
Okay.
Your base.
Yeah, 1 second. So evidently, evidently we weren't actually. Even the worst things happened. Even the worst things happened. Yeah.
It's hard for me to wrap my brain around the idea that a mother would check her own child, even no matter how hungry she was. It's hard to connect to that.
Yeah, it's hard connecting, but evidently that's part of the prophecy in the Tochacha. It was part of it's not simply they would eat their own children, but they also would kill their own children.
I mean, does this indicate that there was a degeneration of the midos, of the madrigas of the Jewish people at that time?
I don't know. I mean, it was at face value was because of the famine. I would imagine face value.
Could you imagine today that there could be such a severe famine that a parent would check their own child?
I don't know. I mean, there are cases. I mean, first of all, I don't. You have to know cases. Again, it's hard for us whether such things happened. I mean, the question is, says here, he goes into more details actually. It says, "Came Timsa B'Sefer Yosifim Ben Gurion, Ki Ha'Pritzim Shenishar B'Yerushalayim Hayu Siva Kol Harois." He himself writes that the Pritzim, those who had resisted surrendering to Titus, they were the cause of all the trouble. They were eating. He says they had to eat. They had no food to eat. They were eating insects and rodents. And then he brings down this case of one woman woman, she shechted her son Sola and Meno Kataf, Echad, Im Zroya Vayad Im Etzboshi. She roasted his arm and his hands, right? And the smell reached these paritzim, Basar. They smelled the meat burning and meat cooking, right? And what was again, there was no meat to be had in Yerushalayim, that's for sure. So everyone smelled the meat being of the child being roasted, and they searched all the houses, right? They searched throughout all the houses. Ad Shetim Sabayis, so they found that house. V'niknas Sham, V'rotz Lahargin. They wanted to kill her.
Well, that I understand.
Well, what did she do to save herself? She said to them, listen, my brothers, come sit down here at my table and we'll eat and we'll eat it together. I'll satisfy your hunger. And they sat down and ate with her. At first they were going to kill her, and then she offered some of the meat to them to satisfy their hunger, and they sat down and eat also. He hotzia shpud ima kataf droya benot soloi, and she took the spit that she had roasted her son's shoulder and arm with chamu anashim ishal reu lo ochu. And the people there, they were bewildered, and no one ate from it. No one ate from it.
Wait, I'm confused. I thought we said they did eat.
Well, she offered them to eat, right? She offered them to eat, and that sort of quelled their anger against her to kill her. And then when she finally brought out the roasted arm, roast shoulder and arm, they kind of were a little bit taken aback by the actual thought of the cannibalism that was taking place here. So they kind of controlled themselves. It continues, Ramalahem, he who asked him, he can ask him. It can call his armor, any issue. So she said, so when she saw that they didn't eat, faced with this gory picture of her own son's shoulder and arm hanging from this spit had been roasted. So she said that, listen, I'm a woman who is soft of heart and delicate. I had in mind that I would shecht my son and roast him and eat him. And you are warriors and soldiers, mighty soldiers. And you don't have the heart to eat this child. And yet you have a heart that you wish to destroy the remnant of the Jewish people. In your, I'm not sure, your rebellion or your conspiracies against Hashem. Lo rotz l'seis lahem makom. So they heard what she said, because they were intent against fighting against the Romans, right? she said, you're intent against fighting against the Romans, and you're going to destroy. You don't have the heart to eat. You don't have the heart to eat this son of mine, right? And you warriors, right? And mighty soldiers, and you're intent upon destroying the remnant of Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people here in Yerushalayim, and you don't have the heart to eat this child of mine, but you have the heart that you're going to destroy the Jewish people. Below Ratzul says lehem makam letzeis lechayos esnam sham b'machane Titus. They mean it because they had locked the city. No one could leave the city to escape. Apparently, Titus would have been again in general. The Romans, you have to know the Roman policy, right? The Roman policy was in general throughout, as far as I understand. I'm not an expert in Roman politics and military strategies of the time. I'm not far from an expert in that. I know nothing at all about it, as a matter of fact. But a little bit I know is that Roman policy in general was that they would conquer the various lands and peoples, and they would really not want to interfere with the normal internal social, economic, even religious customs, laws, and behavior of the newly conquered territories and peoples, because they were simply interested in getting the tribute, the mas. They were simply interested in getting the money, right? They would conquer and control the various different peoples and territories that they conquered, and then they would subjugate them to pay tax, and then all the money would go to Rome, and then the Romans there would live it up with all that money coming in. And that's what they wanted. They wanted the money to come in so they could enjoy life with all that tribute money. So they weren't interested in making unnecessary wars and destruction, right? But if there was rebellion, they'd have no choice. So the Jews, apparently, by resisting the Romans too strongly, caused the Romans to backlash and bring the destruction. So when they heard these words of this woman, so it broke them. It broke them, and they didn't have any koach anymore to fight against Titus. So this was, he says, Rohe kol zehayim besibas aklos hapanim. This was all a cause. This is all a cause. This came about because of they were eating their children, right? The Hashem is barak lo haya oisu lehem zeh ela lasir osam v'lo nekama. It was only trying to. This was only the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning, you have to ask yourself. What was the in terms of the tochacha, meaning the tochacha and the chumash. These are things that not only were prophecies, but they were also, these things were meant obviously to have some type of a positive outcome, a positive consequence. So what was that of the eating the children? You see that this woman who wanted to come and eat her child, right? It actually had a positive aspect of quelling the rebellious nature of these people who were bent upon rebelling against the Romans. Okay, maybe it's a good point to stop here, but, so maybe that explains a little bit, as difficult it is to accept these things, right? They obviously have, it's coming from Kadosh Baruch Hu, and it's a prophecy that Hashem gives in his own Torah, that these things would happen. There is a positive reason for it, as is being explained over here. That's what he's trying to set out to explain.
Is he implying that she did this on purpose?
No, I don't see any implication of that. In terms of what her, I don't see these explaining anything about what her kavanas were, right? What she was
Right.
intended to do. She might have been purely motivated for the hunger of it. But when she realized what the situation, she saw it before her eyes, what it was all about, maybe, now she understood a little bit deeper what was going on. Okay, yeah. So, okay, maybe let's take a little break here.
Okay, thank you, Rabbi.
Yeah. Thank you. Roy, you should have a good afternoon, and we'll
Yeah,
continue more
you
tomorrow
too.
with Hashem.
Mhm.